Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing today? Excuse me, Blue Tie here from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It's a Monday morning here in Thailand, and bit of a hazy one. It's been over the weekend, etc. It was the PM 2.5, and that's the haze from the smoke burning. What's it called? Is really the smoke burning, the crop burning. What's it called in the northern part, either in Vietnam or Cambodia or Myanmar, wherever where they're building the crops, and they come over here because of the wind direction, and it's pretty bad for the first 3 or 4 months of the year. Normally it disappears after Songkran. Songkran's next month. That's the water throwing festival. We don't know. Anyway, so here I am. It's Monday. The electricity is out, which is something you have to put up in Thailand. It goes every so often. No explanation needed, etc. It just goes. It's just one of those things what you have to put up with when you're living in Thailand. It's one of these things which foreigners and flanks, etc., just don't get seem to grasp and understand. It's just got to go with the flow. You really have. You just got to go and then just sweat it out. Yeah, it's about 30 degrees here in Thailand. Didn't do a video yesterday. Do apologise, and many reasons for it. One, I went for a run, a swim, and yoga, even though I shouldn't do so because the PM 2.5 was bad. But also the fact that my ball and chain was off yesterday, and which was for instance, and even though I was going to do a video when I come back, for instance, a Daily City video. For instance, I came back around about 10 o'clock. I had breakfast when I came back because I don't eat before I run. And I was assured that we're leaving at 12 o'clock, which gave me half an hour, 45 minutes to have breakfast, so and relax. And then I can do a video, and then we can go down because you want to go down to the beach yesterday. But unfortunately, what happened was, if you know anything about Thai women, for instance, they are unpredictable to say the least, and they so always when she says "tien," which means 12 o'clock, it always means in some in earlier, or a lot of times earlier. So she started getting ready. She wanted to go about 11 o'clock. So anyway, do apologise for that. So sorry, Cat, for that. So I do apologise. There wasn't really much going on, to tell the truth. In the City Lays were playing the evening, and we got robbed again against Lucky Chelsea, and injuries. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem on the on Thursday. I think it's Thursday. The for the don't big cockerel here just about to go cockerel. Anyway, yeah, they were very unlucky. They got injuries again, and the problem is, we're digging into the our bare bones at the moment, where Chelsea can just bring on internationals and can just change it. So I would say it was a fair game overall. City had the first half, Chelsea had the second, but I think it should have been a 2-2 draw because we had a perfectly good goal rule offside, not offside, a foul. And just actually the late rather than playing on, crazy, absolutely, really bad by the referee. But we were 2-0 up at the time. Could have been 2-0 up, second half, etc. I'll say Chelsea were the better team in the second half by far. But and again, what's it called? They only scored one more goal than us as well. And anyway, so let's move on because I'm talking about the gentlemen. Because I've got a special ladies thing for video for that. Anyway, so what's gone on? What's going well in the last 24 hours? Well, it's Monday, so we don't really know 1 Jan in Thai. So we really don't know what's going on. With this anything what's going to happen with the 115. I thought it was going to be last week. I thought it was going to be Wednesday next week. Someone said the Premier League are delaying it, but I think it's all speculation. It really is. It's all going on. Nobody knows really nothing, really. I'm surprised it's been dragged out. Now we're talking about April, but I just don't understand why they're delaying it. Just get it out there, and if, for instance, because I'm sick and tired. I just want to have it done because the media's going to be jumping all over it again this week. That, for instance, City's going to, because they've got nothing else to talk about apart from England. And England against Albania. I don't know who they're playing. I think it's Croatia. No, not Croatia. I don't know who they're playing this week. But it's boring, And so, for instance, then they want to have a slag at Manchester City. So, and you got the FA Cup at the weekend. So it's not in the Premier League. So not all the teams are playing, or some of the teams are playing. So, but it's just. So I just hope they get it out this week and we can digest it, and hopefully we prevail, to which I believe we will. But it just get it out, please. Just get it out. It's just driving me mad. I'm sick of our club being slagged off every day. And I'm sat there with my hand in my heart, going bum 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 bum. What's going to happen? And typical City. What's it called? He did in a headline yesterday. City have lost. I'm like, what? What have we lost? What have we lost, Johnny? Johnny, you shouldn't be doing this. City have lost. I thought, oh no, what? So I turned it on, and it said we just lost our, mojo. And I'm like, oh, it was an awful thing to say. City have lost, because I'm sick and tired of seeing that. But I don't know. Some other guy, for instance, on Twitter yesterday, a well-known guy, for instance, said, "Oh, it's going to be announced today." And I'm like, and then of course other people have questioned him. How do you know? How do you know? And he's like, just kidding. It's even City fans taking mick up with City fans. It's not fair. And just need this nightmare to end. It really is. It really is crazy. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's talk about what we do know. That there was some internationals last night. For instance, Ruben Diaz, Portugal got their revenge on Denmark, etc. I think they lost for the Common Hampton last week, but they showed, for instance, they came back to win. Was it 5-3 over and Ruben Diaz and Bernardo Silva both playing by the looks of it. I was going to get more information, but electricity gone. Electricity, internet, everything gone. So what's it called? But it was 5-3 to make it 5-3 on Nike Cup. So yeah, so Portugal are tired for last week's shock defeat in Denmark. Great country. Lived there 10 years. And Spain. I lived there also. Yeah, so no, it's Portugal, isn't it? What am I talking about? Spain. So yeah, so well, look, Bernardo. So Bernardo Silva, picture of Bernardo Silva and Ruben Diaz, happy and jolly. So that was good for him. Picture of Nathan Aki in a boot on holiday, for instance, on Twitter, or whatever X we want to call it. So for instance, recovering. Looks a nice place where he's staying. But I wish him well in his recovery. Kevin De Bruyne, for instance, played yesterday with Doku. Nice picture of them together, for instance. It was like they won as well. Yeah, so for instance, very happy for Kevin. Played 74 minutes, I believe, yesterday. So, but he looked quite sharp and assisted again. So, for instance, I know he's determined to get his place. A lot of City fans are reading it. Why are you playing great for Belgium, not playing great for City? Well, I don't know. So, for instance, I don't think it's in that way. I think he's just basically, for instance, yeah. So I think he's just, I don't know. For instance, he's determined to get his place back in Belgium. He wants to play in the World Cup, which means I think he'll sign a new contract for Man City because he wants to sign. If Man City don't want to offer him a contract, okay, because there was other talks, there was other chats going on because everybody's talking about he's going to San Diego, and then the director of San Diego comes out and says, well, it's news to me. We didn't know anything about that, so again, speculation. Everybody's talking about it. Blah, blah, blah. This is the thing. That's the reason why I don't go into transfers too much because quite honestly, it's you get one thing from one from the other, and I'm going to come on here and say, "Oh, we're going to get this guy for clicks," only to find out that, for instance, we were never even thinking about getting this guy. So, for instance, and it just drives me crazy. And again, if you look at the January transfer window, and I'm sorry, what's it called? The guys, LB, what's it called? Mancunian away, blah blah. They can have these hour-long, 2-hour-long where they can discuss who they want. And they get January transfer window. Nobody predicted Kuzinov. Nobody predicted, for instance, Nico Gonzalez. Nobody predicted Reese. And nobody predicted, or maybe, the only thing it linked to what's called was Mamouche. Other than that, so for instance, we can all speculate. We're going to get birds. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. Nobody really knows. So yeah. And when it comes down to wages, this guy said, "Well, we can't afford his salary." So, and then there was interest in him. Then there were now the interest again. The media switch says, "Well, let's switch to Saudi Arabia. I'll go to Saudi Arabia." And again, I've said this 1 million times. Kevin De Bruyne is focused on two things. One is family. Two, but this will deter where Cameron goes. One is family, and two is his what's it called? Yeah, and he's not gonna. It's not about money for Kevin. I think he'll accept a pay cut at Manchester. I'm sure if he stays at City, and he has to get because he wants to get into the Belgian World Cup. So if he, so World Cup squad that so that is his priority. He's already a millionaire. So all this nonsense about paying money more money, he's not that kind of guy. He's all he's focused on is getting playing well for his country, and then going to the next World Cup. And he can't do it if he's in Saudi Arabia, and he's not going to live with his family to go down to Saudi Arabia, regardless of and it's he's getting taken away from kids from his schooling, taken away from for instance probably their friends, and all for the sake of going to Saudi Arabia. No, I don't think so. I'm not having it. I really don't care. I don't care what's going. They're going to pay him this amount. There's a difference, and his difference in his life. Edison, he's only got himself and his wife. I think he's got kids as well, but I think there's a difference. There's a difference. Also, Edison's been paid a lot less than Kevin De Bruyne for the last few years, which is very bad for Man City. But yeah, so I am not going to sit and I honestly I think City. I think he will stay. I think they'll offer him a contract 1 year extension, and I think, for instance, that he'll sign it and it'll be reduced pay. Simple as that, with a condition to say that, for instance, he probably won't play every game. And I think that'll be that. And I think he deserves it. He deserves a statue. He deserves everything. He's been absolutely fantastic for City. And just because he's having a bad season, like Phil Foden, like God knows how many other players Man City's got, for instance, who is having a bad season. So, and so I'm not going to hang him out to dry, because next season, if he goes off to, say, for instance, another Premier League club, which is very doubtful, and has an absolutely blinding, you're going to be sat there going, huh? So yeah, we're just in transition at the moment, City. We've had ridiculous amount of injuries, and plus other things on top. So in the schedule, there was pre-season, everything. So yeah, so you've got to put everything into context. You can't just say, oh well, it's because you can't have Jack Grealish. Uh, Ruben Diaz, say you throw Ruben Diaz into it, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, all having a bad season. And was the motivation to get in the fourth too much? Who knows? So, for instance, but bringing fresh blood in, yes, great. Young fresh blood in, yes, for the future, the transition. But we need that transition to be orderly, and we need it to be in a for instance, and a slow transition. I think if we not just slow, not slow is not the word, just an orderly transition of bringing players in and then running down contracts like John Stones, like Bernardo Silva. Just let it all run out, because there's and just bringing in the new players and put the players maybe on the bench or something like that. But we need a big squad anyway. So we were talking about how we don't have enough players because we don't have a big squad, and now we're talking about getting rid of 5 or 6, 7 players, boom, and then bring in 5, 6, 7 players. Then we're exactly the same boat as what we were before, apart from the fact that we've got a squad who doesn't know the Manchester City way, the Pep Guardiola way. So, there's a lot of to think about. So it's, yeah, so Hugo Viana's what you call it? Hugo Viana's for instance, transfer, what's it called? It's going to be really tough. I know he's going to be with Tiki, and I'm sure Tiki will be on the end of the phone and helping him in any way. But it's going to be a long summer for him, I expect. But I'm sure he'll be up to the job. Apart from that, I don't really, for instance, I don't know what else. I know Spain played yesterday as well. So, but other than that, it's going to be another cross fingers job this week. Find out whose City I have. For instance, sorry, who's what's going to happen. Oh yeah, let's go. Sorry, I do apologise. We just missed one there. Croatia played yesterday. I believe they played Mata Kovacic and Gvardiol played, and so I read. I don't know if it's true that Gvardiol might have a hamstring injury, which will be disastrous, which will be typical. It'll be a disastrous, and and it's not a surprise because the amount of the games that guy's played this season, and we've been speculating that he could go down. LB said on more than one occasion this guy's got to go down one day, and so he's played none of every game at Man City, and now he's playing two games with Croatia. So I hope he doesn't have a hamstring injury because we need him against vital teams, especially against the FA Cup on Saturday. Oh, sorry, Sunday. This week because we need him. Leicester, we might be able to get away with it, but definitely, for instance, we need him for that. So, but it's just typical of the way our season's gone this season, the way it has gone. Yeah, so the defender down, the looks of it. Of all the places where we could lose a defender, let's go to a position, in a defender. Oh, and I was like the girls yesterday. The ladies better take, get ladies off yesterday, for instance, players off yesterday because of injuries. Just oh god, injuries this season. It's just been and put Manchester 25-26 season, boom, 24-25. Sorry, injuries. And terrible. Anyway, so I've got to stay optimistic. I've got to stay positive about what's happened. I hope the 115 is going to work out well for us, but and we'll have to see. Yeah, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm sweating here a little bit because of again, because I've got no air conditioning and no hair heat. No, so normally I don't mind it at all. So I don't really mind the heat at all. It's like a warm blanket over you. You get used to it. Honestly, you really do. Right, okay, I'm gonna get going. So I'll speak to you tomorrow. Promise. But and let's find out what the day's got for us ahead in store. I know England are playing sometime, so I'll see what if Phil's going to play. And Thomas Tuchel did talk about Phil Foden, didn't he? It was a thing about Phil Foden. Tom Tuchel and Phil Foden and Marcus Rashford. I've spoken to both, and in front of the group. I know I appreciate their effort, especially on the ball. We will see the numbers and how much effort they put in defending high and counteract press, and also their sprints. So yeah, but let's see how Phil cracks on. Guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. So the cat from Thailand. Like and subscribe, comment. Tell me what you're thinking, what's on your mind. Do you know anything about the 115? Do you know anything about transfers? Let me know so we can have a nice little communication and a nice chat. I answer every person who talks to me, apart from the bad people. Okay, so we got from Thailand, and I'll speak to you soon. And tomorrow. Take care.